Is something wrong? There was a man who was walking, just minding his own business, when all of a sudden it started to rain. And then he thought, ugh, fuck this shit. And then he looked over, and then he saw a house that looked empty. And he knocked on the door, but nobody answered. And then he thought to himself, okay, well, no wonder this house looks totally abandoned, so I'm a fucking dumbass for even thinking anybody would be inside. So he punched the window and went inside, and he would stay in there until the storm would stop. And then he made a fire in the fireplace and decided to sleep comfortably. He would go back home when the storm stopped. But all of a sudden, there was a huge bang, crash that startled him and woke him up. And he looked at it. It was a huge, hideous looking thing. And then that's when he said,
"Oh, fuck this."
And then he ran out into the storm and ran and ran and ran. But then he was like, okay, I'm so out of shape. I can't do this anymore. And then he heard a tap. Somebody was tapping his shoulder. He turned around. It was the huge, hideous thing. He looked into the eyes that were bleeding out of the skull. And it said,
"Hey, do you want to go for a date? I'll buy you a drink."
and then he replied,
Yeah, sure, why not?
and then they both went to a bar that was close by.